All right, little red's all loaded up, ready to go. Let's head out. Good morning, guys. It's about 7 a.m. We're just getting ready to head out to another mobile job. Got to go into Salt Lake this morning to do a repair on some stainless steel ductwork on an evaporator. I'll show you guys what it looks like when we get in there. The hardest part about this one is it's thinner stainless steel, and it's also been heated and cooled its whole life, so it may be a little bit brittle. That's something you'll typically run into with stuff like this. So we'll take a look when we get in there. I'll show you guys what we got. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're here on site. Show you guys what we got. So this here is a stainless steel expansion joint. This ductwork for these fans, everything you see is stainless. These are constantly being heated and cooled down, so there's a lot of expansion and contraction that takes place. So that's why these are here. This section to replace it is 14 grand. So they want me to try and repair this. So here's what we got. Hopefully you can see this crack. Okay, so there's a crack that runs, it actually stops right here, and it goes clear down here, and you can see it kind of wraps up in there, which really sucks. I was hoping that it would have just stopped right here on the crown, on the peak, instead of in the valley, but it does wrap up in there. So that's going to be the hardest part of this repair, is getting it sealed up in that valley. They had put a mastic bandage over it to get them by, because this ductwork is under vacuum, and it worked, but the crack started to spread. So he called me and said, hey, you better come fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right here at the end of this crack to stop it from spreading. I'm not going to have to worry about this bottom one because it's already kind of stopped itself by wrapping up in there. So I've got it all cleaned up. I've used isopropyl alcohol, and I think I got it pretty well cleaned up. I hit it with a wire brush, and that's about as good as we can do. So we're going to see what happens. We're running the Miller MaxStar today. I'm going to start out really low because this is pretty thin. So I'm going to start out at like 70 amps. So let's see what we can do. All right, so another thing we might run into here is there was water in the grooves on this expansion joint. So I did suck the water out with a shop vac the best I could, and it's not dripping anymore. But that's another challenge we might run into on this one. So I'm going to start by drilling this hole. One of the things you want to do with stainless is go slow and push as hard as you can without snapping the bit. And that actually went pretty smooth. You see the crack stops right there? That's just what we want. I'm going to try to give you guys the best view I can. It's going to be hard for you guys to see though, because my head's going to be in the way. But all right, so what I want to do is take a pair of vice grips here, and I want to close this crack as tight as I can. I don't want it overlapping. I just want to put some tacks on it. Let's see how this goes. Well, that didn't go well. That just blew a big hole. That is paper thin. We're down to 30 amps because I blew a big hole in the first two spots.
It's time for today's super cool tool.
All right, guys, so we got another tool upgrade here. So I want to show you guys what we got. I was at the welding store the other day swapping my bottles out. While I was waiting for the guy that was helping me, I was just walking around the store and I noticed that they offer a whip for your stick welder. And if you guys don't know what a whip is, typically when you set up an engine drive, you run heavier cable. I run 1/0 cable and it's fairly heavy. If you jump online, you'll be able to find a chart for welding cable, and it will tell you what size of wire is rated for what amperage. The point of a whip is if you're running 1/0 cable and you hook your stinger directly to the 1/0 cable, which is what I had before, it's kind of heavy. It's heavy to hold up the stinger, like if you're welding pipe or something and you got to hold all that up. I'll typically, you guys have probably seen, I'll wrap it around my arm once. That helps you hold up the weight. But as I was walking around the welding store, I noticed that they had pre-made number 2 cable, 25-foot whip cables for your welder. And I thought, you know what, that's something I should probably invest in. The cool thing is, it comes just like you see it. So it comes with 25 feet of Ultraflex cable. Ultraflex cable, it bends easier. I feel like it rolls up nicer. It comes with a 200 amp Tweco stinger already on it. And this is actually the type of stinger I prefer. Probably just because that's what I started out on. So it comes with the stinger, and it also comes with half of a quick connect. So it comes with this half, and then you just purchase the other half. I had one on hand, so I was able to come home, slap one on the end of my existing welding cable, and then I just took my new whip, hooked those up, and bam. It's just a lot nicer not having to hold up all the weight of that cable while you're welding. Pretty cool. I'm excited to try out the new stinger. I do have some mobile jobs coming up within the next couple months. I've got a couple customers that have reached out to me and they said they got some work that could be coming down the pipe. So I figured that would be a good thing to have. I have another tool upgrade to show you guys, but it's not here yet. It's in the mail on the way, but it is related to mobile welding. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. I think that's going to make running the engine drive a lot nicer. The other reason I like it is with this quick connect on here, if I want to purchase another 100 feet of lead and throw a quick connect on it, if I'm clear way up in the rafters or way in the back of some building and I can't get my truck back there, I'll be able to just slap another 100 feet of lead on there and then we're rolling. So I think it's a good improvement. I'm excited to try it out. Just wanted to show you guys. Let's get back to the project.
How's it looking?
Oh,
Test you?
it's gonna test me for sure. First 2 spots I tried, blew a big hole in it.
Yeah, that's super thin, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's better. Yeah. And I'm down to 24 amps.
No.
Yeah.
As thin as that is.
Yeah. So we're getting it though.
Okay, sweet.
All right, guys. I want to show you guys what polishing the turd looks like. So I got it all sealed up. I had a couple spots where it blew through, but I did get it welded up, and I got clear up in there, and hopefully I got to the end of the crack, but it came off the peak and then kind of went up in the valley and wrapped around. So I think I got it. So what I'm going to do now is clean this up with the grinder real quick, polish it up, and then I'm going to try to run a pretty one over the top of it, which is going to beef it up a little bit, give it a little more thickness, and it'll also help the aesthetic aspect of it. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then I'll give you guys a look. All right, guys, got her all done. I did run several passes on it, and I do think I got it up in that valley. So they're going to pull a vacuum on it right now and see if we got any leaks. So see what happens. All right, guys, just wanted to give you a look at the finished product. I did end up having to have them pull a vacuum on it twice. The first time I did find 3 little leaks, but it's all done now. So You can see I had to make a couple different passes on there, but I think we got it. Checked it with soap and water. So this isn't a permanent fix. They're going to eventually replace this expansion joint, but sounds like there was a lead time on the part maybe, and 14 grand. So they're going to try to make this one last as long as they can. So that's going to wrap this one up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you on the next one. I was at the welding store the other day refilling my... If you get online... Goodness. If you get online, you'll be able to find... If you get online... If you hop on... Goodness. If you get online, you'll be able to find a chart that tells you what the cables... If you hop online, you'll be able to find a chart that tells you what the amperage rate... No. But as I was walking around the store, I noticed that they had a pre-made whip for you. Goodness. As I was walking around the welding store, I noticed that they have pre-made 25-foot whip cables for your welders.